Hey, vinyl community, and welcome YouTubers from everywhere. Digging through the new arrivals bin at my store just the other day, and I found this record. It's going to be a little bit of interesting story here. Lightning Hopkins sings the blues on the budget record on the Crown label. Right behind it, must have bought out somebody's collection, was John Lee Hooker sings the blues on Crown on their early label. So stick around and I'll tell you a good story. Digging through the new arrival bin, and I saw this record. Now, often Crown records don't have photographs on the front of them, and this was they rated the record G plus, but the jacket's VG plus, and the records were quite a bit better than G plus. They had a little surface staining which didn't affect the sound. Now, these Crown records all have the same back, and they have a paste over on the front cover. I thought this was kind of neat. Lightning Hopkins, this is a good sounding record. Lightning Hopkins was fairly famous at this time and doing some Blue Note prestige type recordings, so this record had a little more effort into it. But these Crown discount budget records, they generally picked up artists who were little known at the time, who were just getting started, and so I thought this was pretty good on the typical Crown label. Now, right behind it was this record. John Lee Hooker sings the blues. And I thought, I'm not quite as big a fan of John Lee Hooker. He's excellent, but he did so many records, a lot of them kind of the same things over and over with just different titles. And this record, the sound is not quite as good. They didn't put the effort. John Lee Hooker hadn't got his restart again, which happened a few years later. But here's what the story is. So, got that nice Crown label. I got home, wasn't paying any attention. I pulled the record out, didn't have the right record in it. It had this record in it. So I thought, well, I better go get the other one and check. And sure enough, when the guys at the store were checking them, they put the wrong records in each sleeve. Now, if I had not bought both records, me and somebody else would have been highly irritated, because I would have had the wrong record in the jacket and somebody else would have had a wrong record in the jacket. I almost didn't pick this one up, but I thought, you don't see these very often. I like these Crown budget record kind of things, and so I grabbed it, and lucky for me, now I got the right records in the right jacket. One of the things I've talked about before with these Crown records, I've shown this is just the jacket, don't have the record. If I had the record in here, this would be a valuable record. This is one of the Crown records, and they hired the artist. I should always write down his name, and they took a black and white photograph, and then they had a painter paint from the black and white photograph to color in the records. These are very collectible. Now, the guy that owned Crown owned Spinorama, some of these other budget labels, and so once you learn to recognize these, hey, they're not a color photograph, they're a black and white photograph that's been painted, grab these up. I paid $10 for this VG plus, just the empty jacket. If it had the record in it in the same condition, it'd be a couple $100. And of course, this was very early before B.B. King got popular. So there's a quick little story. Sometimes you luck out. So I say, keep 'em spinning, and see you all down the record trail.
Happy trails to you until we meet.